Hey, it's Jave and Andy from Two Dudes Reviews, hanging out once again here at the Tinderbox with Rod. And Rod, we appreciate your invite over to
Absolutely
check out one of the new releases here for 2016. Happy New Year to everybody watching this video in 2017. This is the San Cristobal
Quintessence.
Quintessence. A gorgeous cigar. Now, this has got a nice, almost a milk chocolate outer wrap here. Impeccable construction. A little give with a slight pressure, but very consistent throughout the length of the entire cigar here. You can certainly see some minimal veins in this, but it doesn't feel like there's any tree trunks going on in there. And this is brought to us by the Ashton family. However, Rod, you're mentioning Don Pepin is the maker behind the cigar, yes?
Don Pepin Garcia makes the whole San Cristobal line for Ashton in the My Father factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. This cigar has a Ecuadorian Habano wrapper. The binder is Nicaraguan, and then the filler is all tobaccos grown by the Garcia family in Esteli.
I'm not so cigar astute. I think the label is gorgeous. I mean, look at that bird. I'm just looking at the artwork. I am an artist, and so I do notice that kind of thing. And I'm looking at the time and effort and energy put into creating this label. So if you're choosing a cigar on a pretty label, this one wins.
This one wins. And it's. I like to refer to it as a number 2 style with the torpedo here. Technically, that's referred to as a bellicoso. The number 2 style might be a little more flared out at the end here. Anyhow, why don't we get to cutting these suckers up and start roasting?
Let's do it.
And I like to give mine on the torpedoes the sideways cut, just like that there. For whatever reason, I like the mouthfeel of having the sideways cut. I like to use a V cut when I'm smoking a torpedo as well. He didn't have his 3-cup minimum on Warrior Roasters coffee this morning. He's a little out of step today, Rod.
Yeah. I didn't have any coffee before I went to work today, so I am lagging for sure.
So while these are toasting up a little bit, Rod, I'd like to dispel a typical new cigar user myth or question. Certainly a question that I had when I first got into cigars. I've got my cigar. It has a cellophane wrap on it. I'm going to throw it into my humidor. Do I want to take the cellophane off of it, or do I want to keep it on it just in case I, take it out for a night and I may or may not have an opportunity to smoke it? Is it really going to affect or allow the humidity to transfer in my humidor into the tobacco, or am I doing more harm than good leaving it in the cellophane in the humidor?
There are 2 schools of thought on that. Some purists believe that you want to take the cellophane off, that it will improve the aging. I haven't found that to be the case. They age just as well in the wrapper. They're designed to age in the wrapper.
Yeah. So it's a breathable wrapper.
It absolutely is. And if you've got cigars in your humidor, you're digging through them looking for the cigar that you want. If all these cigars are unwrapped or naked, then you'll be, maybe damaging the wrapper.
Right.
So I say leave the wrapper on if they come with a wrapper on them.
Here's another question along the same line, and Andy, I don't know what your humidor looks like at home, but I've got everything from, Maduros to, Connecticut shade wrappers in my humidor. I've got a couple of imports, so to speak, in my humidor. Is it a problem keeping them all together, or should different cigars of different shades of tobacco be kept separate? Will the flavors tend to cross over one another when left in a humidor for 6 months or a year?
They don't. Cigars don't transfer their flavors. I wouldn't put in the same box with your fine cigars. I wouldn't put like the Drew Estate acids or anything that has a distinct, flavoring to it. But otherwise, it's not a problem to store different types of cigars together.
That's good, because all mine are just
thrown in there. A box.
They're thrown in there, so I'm good. I'm all right.
So Initial impressions, guys.
I'm finding a little bit of pepper, very nice sweetness, quite a bit of sweetness right off the bat. Little cocoa. It's drawn beautifully, medium plus strength.
It's a little bigger than what I normally would smoke.
I think Rod hit it right on the head when he said medium high, medium strong.
Right.
Very soft on the palate, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not burning. It's not real over the top. The cocoa and the cocoa really kind of comes out to me. The sweetness comes out to me a little more. So overall, enjoying the cigar in the first third for sure.
And copious amounts of smoke coming off this thing right now. It's delivering a huge mouth of smoke, which I like, and I wouldn't quite call it effortless, but definitely an easy draw on this particular cigar.
And I'm getting almost a minty coolness, not mint flavor, but just the coolness from the smoke when you draw it in. Kind of like the Opus X, I get that same super cool on the tongue.
Yeah, I'm getting that as well. Well, let's continue to smoke these a little bit. We're in the first third, and we'll come back at the second third and let you know how this sucker is developing. It's the San Cristobal Quintessence. Quintessence.
Come on,
I don't know why I can't say that damn word. I work in broadcasting. I should be able to say all these words. And the, by the way, the shelled egg single malt Scotch is what we're drinking here this evening to kind of pair it up a little bit. We'll talk about the shelled egg on the spirits section of the website, twodudesreviews.com. You can go and check that out. So we're here on the second third, and Andy's having a tough time tapping that ash. Don't tap that ash.
I'm not tapping the ash.
You don't have to. You don't need to. I set mine down just like that, and the ash fell right off. Nice, very consistent burn. I wouldn't say that's razor sharp, but you can see there's no big runs. There's no funneling, tubing, whatever else happening with the cigar here.
That.
Yeah, mine's burning pretty good.
Yeah. Flavors. What are you getting now here on the second third? How is that developing, Andy?
I think a little more pepper. That cocoa's still there. Still nice. It's not too hot. It's not too overwhelming for me. Still got that sweetness. I'm finding that it's pairing very, very well with this Scotch. And as we know, and we've talked earlier before, I'm not a big Scotch fan. So
you didn't put it the same way when we talked earlier. I think you said that shit sucks.
That shit sucks. Well, no, I'm not a Scotch fan. I'm not. And Rod was nice enough to bring out this 18-year single malt. As you can tell, I had a good little pour before, and now I'm through some of it. And it pairs very well with the cigar. I'm enjoying the Scotch, which is kind of rare for me. Normally, I'm a bourbon guy.
I'm finding the peppers fading a little bit. All in all, it's smoothing out. It's getting a little bit lighter, but still very full smoke. Very sweetness is still there.
You mentioned sweetness. Sweetness, the cocoa notes and some of the creaminess are blending together, almost giving it a bit of a coconut flavor here, which I think is perfect with the label and the bird on the front. It's a very tropical looking label, and I don't think this is the Hawaiian flower. What's that Hawaiian flower called, Andy? You spent some time in Hawaii.
It's not the plumeria.
Plumeria, yeah.
Plumeria?
I don't think there's any plumeria flowers on this label, but
no, they're just pretty flowers.
Just pretty flowers.
Just pretty flowers.
Burning very nice. Now, do you know if these cigars are rolled in the traditional style or in tubo style, or any information on that?
I
Rod?
believe he rolls them in the traditional style.
Okay. We've talked a little bit about traditional versus in tubos, and with a cigar that mentions it's rolled in tubo style, it means that they're taking all the filler leaves inside and rolling them up almost like straws to supposedly give you a little bit of a more even burn and a little bit easier of a draw on that. Yes.
It is done that way in some factories. I don't think it's become very widespread. It's
yeah.
I think you get a a better mix, a better draw with just the regular method.
I'm getting that minty. You talked about that minty smoke. I get that kind of on the end here. So I get after I've taken a little bit of that and exhaled, I get that minty.
Just that coolness.
Again, it's not it's a coolness. It's not a mint flavor. Again, it's just a coolness afterward. I like it a lot.
Rod, if you had a go-to spirit to pair up with a cigar, a go-to spirit that would pretty much pair with any great cigar, is there a recommendation? Bourbon, Scotch, tequila, rum?
Probably cognac.
Cognac
would go with almost anything. It's hard to miss with cognac. Personally, I think bourbon goes well with almost any cigar.
I think you're onto there.
Scotch,
bourbon goes great with everything.
Right, exactly.
Almost anything with
steak.
bourbon.
Scotch you have
coffee
to
in the
be a
morning.
little more careful with, but there again, any brown liquor goes well with cigars.
So we're on the second third. We'll continue to smoke this a little bit, give you some of our final impressions when we come right back. We're here at the third of the San Cristobal, and again, this is a new release for the holidays here in 2016. The regular torpedo style cigar, Bellicoso, as it's formerly known. Andy, let's start with you as you're taking a puff there.
Big puff.
Yeah. How has that cigar developed for you? I mean, aside from just being an excellent burn, if you take a look at all three of these, I mean, they're all we all smoke at different levels, right? So some of us tend to smoke a little faster, some a little slower. We've known Rod here to just jam through a cigar. He's done through the entire thing by the time we're midway through the second third.
Yeah.
And these are just smoking really nice and
I'll tell you, I'm getting. Rod talked earlier about that minty. That very, very cool smoke on the draw, and even when you take a really big draw like I just did, even more. I mean, my mouth is almost cold right now, but getting a little spicier for me as I get through the second third here into the third. Still very smooth though, very easy draw. The construction is really good. It's not kind of falling apart. It's not blowing up on me at all. It's been a real good cigar, and again, this is probably a little bigger than I normally would smoke.
Yes,
but it's not over the top. It's real good.
Definitely it leans on the fuller side, especially when you get down here into the third. It's not heating up, but man, it's a nice spicy cigar. And I'm also for me personally, I'm getting a little bit of warm vanilla, maybe some cinnamon vanilla in there, almost like having a super spiced up oatmeal for breakfast.
Sure.
And a little bit of a heady feeling. I'm getting a little bit of that nicotine buzz that's going on right now.
And how can you go wrong with nicotine and booze?
Pretty much. How about you, Rod?
I'm not getting as much of the nicotine. That's one thing I was noticing. A lot of cigars, by the time I get this far in, starting to get a little bit of that buzz, but not so much.
Maybe it's the Scotch talking. I don't know.
Could be. It's still very cool. I'm starting. The pepper's coming back a little bit. I can see that vanilla and cinnamon in there.
Yeah.
The sweetness is tapered off quite a bit. I'm not getting as much sweetness as I was
First and second.
Right.
Yeah. Unless you take a hit of this Scotch, and then
and here comes the sweetness all back.
it brings that sweetness back, and I really like the flavor combination. It's you get that big, bold, spicy, and then that Scotch brings that sweetness right back into it. So,
by the way, we need to thank Shane Whitecloud.
without a doubt.
Shane, what's the name of your production company? Do you have a name for the production company?
Heartstring.
Heartstring Productions.
Heartstring Productions.
So Shane, he's a budding filmographer? Cinematographer.
Is that right?
Here in northern Nevada. I kind of like filmographer.
Filmographer. Okay. Filmographer.
This is much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate the edit. So as Shane's a real lazy guy. I mean, he sleeps all day long. He doesn't have anything else going on aside from his band and doing stuff in the military.
I forgot about the band thing. So that military Veterans Resource Center. Let's give a shout out to the Northern Nevada Veterans Resource Center, because they do awesome work.
And his band, Seasons of Insanity, should certainly check out some of their music. Shane works very, very hard. So if he has some minutes, maybe we'll see something come back around the first week of the new year. But if you are looking to do something around the holidays, a fine cigar, at a great brick and mortar shop is a great place to start. Whether or not you have a cigar smoker in your life, maybe you are the cigar smoker, maybe this is a wife looking at this or a girlfriend. There's plenty of stuff in a brick and mortar cigar shop that you can choose from that may or may not be cigar related. They've got pipes here at the Tinderbox. They have a great range of humidors. Also shaving stuff to make the house smell good.
Everything man.
Everything man.
Everything man. Not that ladies can't smoke the cigars. We usually have hot chicks in our reviews,
right.
but
there's nothing sexier than a good-looking woman smoking a nice cigar.
Shit, yeah.
So we appreciate you checking out Two Dudes Reviews. This is the San Cristobal Quintessence, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Just make some comments like, wow, look at all this great shit.
Yeah.